our series of videos about behaviour as a communication. Today I want to talk to parents about anxiety in our youngsters, how to recognise the signs and how to help them learn to self-regulate. It may be useful for you to use some of the ideas in this video with your children themselves, and for that reason I'm showing you two of my friends who you can help them understand about the different parts of the brain. There's the barking dog and there's the wise old owl. Okay, so here we have our two-part brain model. The top part, if we remember, the thinking part, or the wise old owl, is the bit that helps us make rational choices and decisions. The lower part, the downstairs brain, is our barking dog, and when any kind of threat comes into our world, we have three options. We fight, we flight, or we freeze, until the threat has gone. And that's what this bit does. It's called the barking dog. Okay, now here, the upstairs brain is it helps us to solve problems and helps us to calm down. Pretty much says to the downstairs brain, the barking dog, it's okay, I've got this. Now if we think of our brain and our youngsters' brain as a muscle, what happens with our kids is they have an awful lot of experience in the lower part of the brain, the downstairs brain, and the muscle works really, really hard. So it gets a lot of exercise. Okay, which means that the thinking brain part, the muscle there, isn't as well used. It's not so strong. So what happens, it's very easily pushed aside. And what happens then is the downstairs brain, the barking dog, takes control, it hijacks. And in effect, what happens then is our youngsters, again, resort to the fight, flight, or freeze. The downstairs brain is basically in control. And at that point, the only thing that we can do to help our youngsters is to help them and teach them to self-regulate, to calm down the barking dog. In order to do this, we have to help them learn to recognise those emotions and show them how to calm themselves down. More often than not, at that point, you need to go into their space, like we talked about in the other video. You need to perhaps distract them with a bit of activity that they can copy. You may just need to breathe calmly with them, or even sing a favourite song or a lullaby. At this point, what you're doing is trying to stop the barking dog from barking so much and causing the wise old owl to flip away. Now, like we mentioned with the wet tantrum, we have to teach our kids these techniques. It won't be automatic for them. And over time, what happens is they will learn with you to breathe and calm themselves down. But it will take a lot of practice. Once calm, the upstairs brain comes back into action, or the wise old owl flies back in, and those rational decisions can be made again. And at that point, what you can do is talk to your young person about what's happened and how they were feeling. Thing is, as adults, our natural reaction is to go in at this point where the child is in crisis and tell them to stop or to stop crying. Well, asking that of any child at that point is like trying to get the dog to stop barking when it's cross or shouty. So what we need to do, it's like asking a baby to stop crying when it's upset. So what we need to do is we need to wait until this upstairs brain has come back online before we then take time to reflect and talk to our youngsters about what happened, what feelings they had, and how we can then basically make them learn to calm that barking dog and put the brain thinking caps back on again. Okay, so the key message for parents is really we need to meet the child where they're at. So when they're in that fear state, we need to connect and respond to the emotions and ignore where we can the behaviours in order to then correct and redirect the behaviour. It's only afterwards, once they have become reconnected, that we can talk with them about the behaviour and offer them alternatives. Watch out for the next part of the video, which is actually dealing with those dry tantrums, which are a little bit more tricky and take a little bit more practice. See you soon.